All right. Let's bring him on. Now the NBA gets interesting. The regular season over. The playoffs begin, and Rick Bucher is now joining us in studio.
It's 48 hours, not 72 when it comes to Vegas. 72, you can still get into trouble. 48, that is a little bit safer. I do have a question, though.
Sure.
I brought props.
All right. Yeah, this
Who is
8 years old.
Who is that?
8 years old.
Who is that guy? Who is that guy? Now, that guy is a hedge fund manager, and that guy would know who Christian McCaffrey is, without question. What I don't understand is, how is it that you have more hair now than you did then?
Well,
and you
no.
look like you're what?
No,
20,
I let my hair
23?
now, I just let it grow. It's longer.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, anybody, obviously, you wished somebody happy birthday here, and it was so meaningful to them that they left it in my dressing room. Anyway, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while.
That wasn't my idea. I'm good. So I said to start the show, this is the year of the pivot. LeBron, they're not beating Denver 4 times. If they beat Sacramento, the Warriors, I do not believe, are beating a deeper team in OKC 4 times in 15 days. Okay. And in the last 13 years, LeBron and Steph have been in 11 finals.
Yeah.
Is the league ready? Do fans care? I feel like we're going to discover here in the next 2 weeks, it's a new league.
Yes. But the only way that happens is if you have stars who make deep playoff runs, right? Luka Doncic makes his presence felt. Jaylen Brunson, Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards, like the new legion of stars. But you can do everything that you want in the regular season. It's not until the playoffs where you catch everybody's attention. So the question is, at this point, because those guys aren't established, are storylines going to win out over star power when it comes to ratings? Because we have great storylines, but we don't have any stars. And no offense to Nikola Jokic, who without question is a star, but his game and his presence and his personality, while I think he's kind of fun to listen to, it's very understated. Yeah. And people aren't just making it must-see TV.
That's right. It's hard to explain what Caitlin Clark did. It was her game. There was something about this Midwestern young lady that had a Steph game, a Trae Young game, and it literally, I'm in an airport in Chicago, and she's in the, March Madness. Everybody in the lounge is watching the singular game. It's hard to explain. Now, Steph obviously had it. The Warriors, a team you've covered and know well, you live in the Bay Area. I kind of look at them this year. I think I like Steph and Draymond and the core so much. I overvalue them. Yeah. But when I go watch them, they're very dependent on Steph. They're very dependent on threes. Their bigs are young and not ready for the postseason. I think they're going to get extinguished pretty quick. What say you?
Yeah, I sat down with Steph in Portland to talk about a variety of things, and he said at the time, like, we're still kind of figuring out exactly who we are. And the biggest part is that they are relying so much on a Trace Jackson Davis and a Brandon Pajemski. Those are 2 rookies, right? Who have to be good for them to be good. And so it's not like, while the names are still there, the trio of Clay, Draymond, and Steph just isn't as dominant as it was. Now they have to get something out of Jonathan Kuminga. Yeah. They have to get something out of Moses Moody. And so they just are not the same dominant level team, even though the names are there, and you on occasion they have that look. Oh,
they have halves when you're, they
feel like they're the old Warriors.
Oh, they have moments and spurts. Yes, no question.
Yes, but to me, like, the New Orleans game is really telling. Like, that was a game they wanted, and they had it at home. They're at home, and they couldn't get it. And that, to me, tells me that, look, it's not any one person's fault. It's Father Time. I mean, that's right. The fact that they ended up getting another ring wasn't the beginning of another dynastic run.
It was the end of it.
It was a last gasp.
Right.
Pulled one back from the crypt. So there's no shame in where they are, but this is going to be a challenge going forward.
So I think I don't have an MVP vote. You do.
I do.
And I think there's an argument. Let's take Jokic out of it. Who's the best player? But once you win a championship, everything's different. There's a confidence. There's an understanding. Yes. A little pressure's off the table. And I think MVP has to constitute stats, how much you're carrying. For instance, I think one of the better arguments for Luka is that he has solved, for the time being, the Kyrie thing. Like, Kyrie is quiet and focused, not distracted, a great teammate. That's a thing. But is there an argument that the Knicks that are not, it's not an NBA offense without Jaylen Brunson?
Yes.
Could you convince yourself to vote him as MVP?
No, I could not put him at the top of my ballot. And for those who may not understand, you have a ballot, you put 5 names on it in order.
Yeah.
There's a point differential between each slot. Jaylen Brunson, I haven't filled it out yet. I will in the next 24, 48 hours. Jaylen Brunson will be on my MVP ballot, which, if you had asked me at the beginning of the year, I would not have expected. But do I put him at the top of my ballot? There's no conceivable way that I could do that, because to me, it really is between Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Luka Doncic. And probably, as of right now, that would be the order that they would appear.
How about Anthony Davis? 75 games.
Yep.
He's been absolutely fantastic.
He has been. He has been. And he will be on my Defensive Player of the Year ballot. He's still a little too up and down for me offensively.
He is.
And let's look at the competition. I mean, honestly, will be the first year, if Jokic winds up at the top of my ballot, it will be the first year that he's ever been at the top of my ballot. And he's won twice previously, close second last year. But this year, to your point, like, I have seen an aggression from him as opposed to being that orchestrator. He got something out of winning that ring where it was like, oh, and I saw the same evolution with LeBron. Oh, I'm the best player in the league. Oh, I don't need to orchestrate. Like, I can bully people. Like, there are times where I need to go get it. I need to take on the responsibility of being the best player in the league. Let me not see if I can get somebody else a shot. I'm the best option here. I need to punish teams because they can't guard me, and that's going to make it easier for everybody else too. Nikola has shown me that this year in a way that he had not previously, and it's why he's probably going to be at the top of my ballot.
So you and I are similar that I think we would both admit Boston has the deepest roster. You can see by re-signing Jaylen Brown and Drew Holiday, Porzingis locked in, Tatum soon. They're not too worried about the bench. They're keeping the core guys here and going for it for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But they face the most pressure in the East by far. I still don't know Joe Mazzulla close. I would take a Spoelstra. There are coaches that I prefer.
Oh, yeah.
So here's my takeaway. When I push back on they should glide through the East.
Yes.
Should.
Yes.
But I still have questions.
Yes.
You do too.
Without question. I was asked earlier, who do I see beating them? And it's like, or who's the biggest threat? It's like anybody. Look at Miami did it last year. You could make the argument that the Boston Celtics have had the most talented team for the last 3 years running. And there is no question that that's the case this year.
Yeah, this year's no question.
No question. And yet, do we believe in them in the postseason? And why, for the last 2 years, haven't they been able to get it done? And most important, have they solved the issue that kept them from winning it the previous 2 years? Does Drew Holiday solve that issue? I don't think he does. Does Kristaps Porzingis solve that issue? I don't think he does, because it's still going to be with a game on the line, and more often than not in the playoffs, it comes down to this. One possession at the end of the game, who's going to win it for me? Who am I giving the ball to and say, get me something?
Yeah, the NBA.
It's going to be Jason Tatum.
And we mostly trust him.
And sometimes he does get it done.
Yeah.
I just look, he doesn't have that eye of the tiger. I trust Jaylen Brunson or Damian Lillard
to hit the shot,
to make the play with all the marbles, the middle of the circle. Boy, did I date myself there. Than I do Jason. Until I see otherwise. I've seen it in moments, but I also seen him, and it's not just a matter of whether you make the shot or you miss the shot. It's, are you aggressively looking to get that shot? Do I feel like you want to take that shot?
Yeah, with Brunson, I always feel that.
Absolutely. With Damian, prior to Milwaukee, I always felt that. With Steph, I feel that. With any number of guys that have won championships, I've felt that. I have not felt that with Tatum. There are times where he defers or his game's not rolling, and then he decides it's not my night. Well, you don't have that choice if you're the best player on the team to say, I'm taking this one off.
So sometimes bad news long-term can be good news. Giannis's injury, if Milwaukee loses, Doc can say, come on. It wasn't, I didn't have Giannis. The Bucks can sell Giannis on. Hey, it was a bad matchup, and you missed 3 games. That if they were to lose to Indiana with a healthy Giannis, which because of style of play is possible, Indiana is young, deep, and fast, and Milwaukee's old.
Oh, yeah, no.
This is a matchup issue. This, in a weird way, gives Doc and the front office an out when they go to preach to Giannis in the offseason. We're going to get younger.
See, I hate this entire narrative that they have to convince Giannis to stay in Milwaukee. Giannis is the reason they made the Damian Lillard trade.
Right.
They made that trade in exchange for Giannis, and Giannis made it clear, started already, that little chirp about, well, I don't know if they're committed to a championship as much as I am, and it doesn't make sense that I would sign an extension now anyway, because, it makes more sense money-wise if I do it a year from now. And then they went and got the guy that he's always wanted to play with, Damian Lillard, even though it cost him Drew Holiday. And, I will sign the extension. So they did what he wanted them to do. And we all had doubts about whether it was the smartest thing to do in giving up Drew Holiday and whether it was going to work as well as Giannis thought it was going to. I do not want to hear how, now Milwaukee has to figure it out for Giannis. No, you did Giannis. They did your bidding. Like, if anything, you need to stick it out and give them the opportunity to fix what you kind of created. And how they do that, whether they move on from Damian, whether they send Damian to Miami, which is what I think even he knew that was a better fit than Milwaukee, right? Yeah. So this idea that you're right, and that it gives Doc an out. Sure. It gives Milwaukee an out. Well, Giannis was hurt just like he was hurt last year. But this idea that Giannis has the right to say, hey, I'm all about championships, and we don't have a championship team here. If they're further away now than they were a year ago, I'm putting that on what Giannis wanted because they did it.
So J-Mac and I are on the same page. Don't play LeBron.
Wait a minute. Write that down.
LeBron AD, don't play against the Pelicans. Because if you win,
wait a minute. Are you
Denver.
Seriously? You are both singing that song?
Yeah.
Both.
I think he's right.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
We floated this as a topic.
I didn't float it. I put my shovel in the dirt. I started digging. I do not want to play Denver. We match up great with OKC, and we're going to beat Golden State and Sacramento, whoever we have to play.
You know what? This is that guy. This is that guy. Like, it's all the numbers, and let me crunch the analytics.
Because you're going to beat the Pelicans.
What?
They match up well with the Pelicans. It's a go-either-way game. My takeaway is, well, AD, you have a bad back. Let's see the first quarter. LeBron, we're going to sit you.
All right. Where did we start this conversation? We started with you expressing doubts about the Golden State Warriors. In fact, didn't we just do that? Was wrong in the segment, right?
I was too positive,
right,
for the Warriors.
So what if one, Sacramento beats Golden State?
Well,
Sacramento has been very, very good. Has been a big problem for the Lakers this year.
but the Warriors are all rested, didn't play guys for that game.
Okay. Here's the other part, and it's the LeBron James factor, because we always microscope anything that he does. LeBron James is going to sit out in order to duck the Denver Nuggets. How do you think that's going to play?
Smart.
Wow.
Because you're not beating them.
Maybe only on this show would it play that way. I think most
the NBA isn't sports about strategy?
Okay, I meant to do this because I thought you might bring this up because this feels like it's in your wheelhouse.
It is.
Like I'm just gonna look at the
I don't think
logistics.
it's sinister. He misses 30. He misses 25 games a year. It's a play-in game.
Yes.
I'm not missing game 6, 7 of a series. I'm a play-in game strategically, so we don't have to play Denver.
It is so dangerous to introduce to a team. No, we want to lose today, but we want to win tomorrow. Particularly at this time of year.
That's what the Warriors are doing, resting all their guys. I mean, it's what they did.
They didn't. No, they didn't want to be where they didn't want to be where they are. The Lakers didn't want to be where they are. I think we have this idea that both the Lakers and the Warriors, especially the Lakers right now, because they do have a little bit of that feel. Last year, they shocked all of us, me included. I was wrong. I will admit, I did not see them in the conference finals last year. I didn't see them getting through. I can come up with all kinds of explanations for it.
Strategy has to be part of it.
But they've strategized all year long to be where they are right now. And to roll the dice and say, we're going to purposely lose one game because we are so confident we are going to win the next one, they're not that good. They're not that good.
But they can beat OKC. They're not beating Denver 4 times in 15 days.
They can beat OKC.
They match
I don't
up well
think
with
they
them.
can beat Denver.
They can.
But
I mean, they haven't beaten them in how many
so is it just about, because I don't know how much farther they're going to go after that.
Well, you keep saying it's dangerous to strategy is always dangerous.
Okay.
Strategy is always taking less now, getting more later. Strategy is employed when you feel you need strategy. Michael Jordan's Bulls beat you.
Okay.
Right, like Kobe, Shaq in their prime beat you. Strategy is employed when you see yourself having a hole.
So is this just about
this is about
getting to the playoffs?
It's about avoiding Denver until the very end. If we got to play Denver, let's cross our fingers. Maybe Murray twists an ankle. Maybe somebody knocks him out because they think they match up. T-Wolves, no. They don't want to play the Lakers. So OKC didn't want to play the Lakers. Warriors don't want to play the Lakers. A lot of these coaching staffs, you start talking around people in the league. Minnesota's like, we'd prefer not to open with the Lakers. Denver wants to play the Lakers.
Sure. But are you saying that the Lakers should be so kind? It's one thing for these other teams to go, you know what? This team compared to the Lakers, we'd rather play team B, right? It's one thing to say that. But are you so confident that the Lakers outside of the Denver Nuggets are the second best team in the Western Conference?
I think they can beat anybody in the West and Boston in the East. I don't think they're beating Denver.
Wow.
So I go strategy.
Yeah.
And tell me the career, political. Biden's doing this. Trump's doing that. Strategy. And these are guys running. These are guys that's president, former president. Like the very top of any industry is employing strategy.
Okay.
So my strategy is send out the boys, cross your fingers against the Pelicans, and then we vanquish the next two and face OKC.
Okay, but you're talking about strategy that doesn't pivot on one day, one event, one thing. You're talking about an overall arcing thing where if you have an off day, we can compensate. We can course correct.
That doesn't sound like
this
courage.
Isn't this.
That doesn't sound very courageous.
Wait a minute. That's not correct. Purposely avoiding the Denver Nuggets is courageous?
Yes, because it puts,
no, it's not.
Man, it forces you to win the last two. Courage. No, J-Mac, after this tete-a-tete, where you land?
What tete-a-tete? You mean
tete-a-tete?
Tete-a-tete, yeah, okay. I'm kind of with you in the strategy idea of ducking
I have
the
never
Nuggets.
heard you
I'm just
so
telling you, the Nuggets, by the way,
milquetoast in my life.
Rick, just remember, Jamal Murray's had some shin splints. Those can flare up like this lengthy postseason. I would much rather face Denver than conference finals in the first round.
Yeah,
I don't want to see them right now.
I don't want
fully
healthy
rested off a
Denver.
week? No thanks.
It's just like when I first went out with Ann. I didn't deliver all my best lines in the first date. I saved stuff. Now,
Also-
I risked her not giving me a second date, but I employed a strategy.
Yeah.
I saved some ammo for the second, third date, and then after 3 dates, she's like, "This guy's a winner."
By the way, remember last
It's
year's
just good.
Suns.
It's just
Suns
good that
beat the
this guy
Nuggets
didn't
twice.
meet Ann, right? No chance. No chance she goes out with this guy.
You have to employ strategy.
Suns and Nuggets were tied 2-2 last year. I don't even know that the Nuggets are definitely getting by the Suns, who are playing great down the stretch.
All right, that's more like the J-Mac that I.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.